Okay. Did you get it? Yeah, that's okay. Just click it. All right. Let's get started.
Why is the mouse like that? Why the mouse like that?
Why what?
Why is the mouse like that?
Mouse. Yeah, it is because it is on the image. It comes like that. Let's start with the Namokar mantra, everyone. Namo Arihantanam, Namo Siddhanam, Namo Airiyanam, Namo Vajrayanam, Namo Loe Savasaunam. ऐसो पंचनमोकारो सर्वपावपणासनो मंगलानं च सर्वेस्मिन् परमं वै मंगलम् चत्वारि मंगलम् अरहन्ता मंगलम् सिद्धा मंगलम् साहु मंगलम् केवलिपन्नतो धम्मो मंगलम् चत्तारि लोकुत्तमा अरहन्ता लोकुत्तमा सिद्धा लोकुत्तमा साहु लोकुत्तमा केवलिपन्नतो धम्मो लोकुत्तमो चत्तारि शरणं पवज्जामि अरहन्त शरणं पवज्जामि सिद्धे शरणं साहु शरणं पवज्जामि केवलिपन्नतं धम्मं शरणं पवज्जामि. Okay. So in the last class, we completed the fourth and the last video of Teerthankar Kalyanaks. Okay. So do we remember how many Kalyanaks Teerthankar have?
5.
5. Ahan is saying 5. Do you guys agree? Are there 5 or 6 or 3 or 4?
But if we said this fourth in the last video, we all want to know. You told us all that there's 5.
There are 4 videos, but there are how many Kalyanaks? This was the question.
5.
5. Yeah. Okay. Do we remember the names of the Kalyanak?
Let me think.
Anyone? All 5?
Number 1.
Thinking. I see you all are thinking. That is the only one. Which one did you say? The Garbha Kalyanak. Okay. So 2. Okay. So Ahan said Garbha Kalyanak and Tap Kalyanak. Anyone else remember any other? Any one of them or 2 of them? Think about the life cycle of Teerthankar. How many? If there are 5 and Ahan already...
Moksha Kalyanak.
Moksha Kalyanak. So that is the last one. So now we have 3. We said Garbha, we have Tap, and we have Moksha. We are missing 2 middle ones. There is one missing between Garbha and Tap, and there is one missing between Tap and Moksha. What are those events? What is between Garbha Kalyanak and Tap Kalyanak? Which Kalyanak is between Garbha Kalyanak and Tap Kalyanak? So Garbha means when the soul comes in the mother's womb. Okay. So Garbha Kalyanak is that. So then, and Tap Kalyanak is what? When they take Diksha, when they accept the monkhood. That is the Tap Kalyanak. So which one is?
I know. Janma Kalyanak.
Janma Kalyanak.
When he was born.
Yeah. Don't make noise, Ahan. Get up.
One.
So yeah, so now Moksha, then Tap Kalyana means Diksha. So Garbha Kalyana, Janma Kalyana, then Tap Kalyana, then what comes?
Moksha is when what happens?
Moksha is when the god becomes Siddh, right? They go to Siddhashila. So what happens before?
I only know English. I only know how to say English, but between it is when the Teerthankar becomes Arihant.
Very good. When the Teerthankar becomes Arihant, so what happens? That he becomes Sarvagya. He becomes Arihant. So when the Teerthankar becomes Gyan Kalyan, because he becomes Sarvagya, right? So it is related to the knowledge.
Is it the translation in English? Knowledge Kalyan?
No, knowledge is little different than Gyan.
Has Gyan translated knowledge in his?
Gyan is kind of like, yeah, knowledge. But let me explain. Let me explain. Sit down. Gyan is knowledge in the literal translation. But Gyan also means like you have to have the ability to grasp that knowledge, right? So when we say we have Gyan, it doesn't mean that just because we have all the knowledge that we already know things, but we also have the ability to grasp things. That is what the actual Gyan is. Does it make sense? Like, for example, ants or any other animals, they don't absorb the knowledge as well as humans, right? So their Gyan is different than the Gyan of human. Not because they don't know many things, it is because they are not capable of doing so. And we are capable of getting all this knowledge and absorbing, understanding. So that is what actually Gyan means. When the Tirthankar or when the monk Rishabh Dev, when he becomes, wait, there is a chat. Who is messaged? Okay. Okay. So when they become Sarvagya, that means they have, of course, they have the knowledge, but their ability to know the things also multifolded, right? And that's when they became Arihanta. And that Kalyanak is Gyan Kalyanak because they got which Gyan? We talked about it last class or last to last class. What is that Gyan called? The Gyan, the Sarvagyata, there is a specific name of that Gyan. Which one is that? It's called Keval Gyan. Keval Gyan. Have you heard the word omniscient or omniscience? That is the Keval Gyan. So that's when the Gyan Kalyanak happened. And after that, when Arihant becomes Siddha and goes to Moksha, that is Moksha Kalyanak. We saw that in the video. Do you guys remember? Do you guys remember that? That we saw all that in the video, how the Samosharan was and how the Tirthankar goes from one place to another and how all the different people or animals and devs and angels and everybody sits around in the 12 different sections and listen to God, right?
How does God speak? Does the God speak?
This is very interesting theory. Good question, Ahar. So how does God speak? Does his lip move when he speaks? Not like that. What happens? Does anyone know?
What language does he speak?
Yes, Aro.
What language does he speak?
Yes. Aro, do you have question?
How does God speak? Does he speak English?
I'll explain in a minute, Ahar.
Okay, something else. Can we start?
I think he got dropped. Okay. So there was a question, right? In which language the God gives out the speeches, right?
Yeah, and how does he
So
speak?
it's like called Omkar Dhvani. Have you heard the sound like Om?
Like, hello, and like, how do they understand that?
So when it is like a Omkar Dhvani, okay? So it sounds like this. Listen, I'm explaining, right? Listen, beta. It sounds like Om, and it comes from the whole body of the God. It's not like how when we speak, our voice comes out of the mouth, right? You can see that it is coming from the mouth. But the God speech or the Divya Dhvani comes from Sarvang, meaning from the whole body, and it is like a sound. Om. And all the people, all the animals, all the angels understand this in their own language without translating it. It's like an advanced technology where
They just understand like this. Roar, 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 roar.
they understand in their own language whatever God is saying. Animals, we don't know what animal language is. We just hear roar because we think like, oh, it sounds like roar, or it sounds like meow, or it sounds like moo, because that's their language to us, but we don't know what actual animal language is.
Yeah,
But they understand in their own language. They understand whatever the God says. Isn't that amazing? Hmm. Isn't that amazing that it's like most advanced technology where, the God just, there is just sound, and then everybody just understand in their own language. If your language is Hindi, you will understand in Hindi. It will almost seem like the God is speaking Hindi to you, or English, or whatever that may be. Hmm. Maybe you can develop such technology when you guys grow up. There is already some, you know that, right?
What?
In the assemblies, and where there are like people who speak different languages, they have this device for like in the seminars, in their presidents and all, they are sitting, they can select in which language they want it to be translated. That is how they understand. Hmm.
For like school assemblies, the principals they use megaphones.
Yeah, that's different. Okay, so that is the recap of what we have learned in the last class. Now back to sit. Everybody is sitting. Nobody is doing it. See, so our main topic was Bhagwan and Teerthankar. Okay, so we learned who is God, whoever is Vitaragi and Sarvagya is God. And then we also learned what is Vitaragi or who is Vitaragi. Vitaragi does not have Moha, Rag and Dvesh, right? That is Vitaragi. And who is Sarvagya? Sarvagya is someone who has all the knowledge of past, present and future at the same time, right? So we learned all that. Let me see why it is flipping. Sarvagya. And then now here they're saying Siddha Bhagwan is Vitaragi and Sarvagya, and Arihanta Bhagwan is Vitaragi, Sarvagya and also Hitopadeshi. So why they are also Hitopadeshi? Because they give out the discourses. They give the Upadesh, or they preach people. That's why Arihanta Bhagwan has one more qualification, which is Hitopadeshi, meaning, literal meaning is kind of like giving out the sermons, or giving out the discourses, or preaching people on how to become much better version of themselves, or how to become God, right? So that's why they are the Upadeshi, means they give out. Hitopadeshi. Okay. So what is Hitopadeshi? The one who is the leader of the path, or the path, yeah, we all understand path, of the path of salvation, and guides all the living beings, all the souls, for settling them on the path of salvation. That supreme soul is the Hitopadeshi, means benevolent sermonizer. Okay, which is Arihant Parmeshthi. Are you all understanding what I am saying? Any questions? I'm not hearing any questions today. Are you guys confused? Not following? We are just talking about who the real God is. How do we identify who the God is, who we should worship? We just cannot go and worship anyone, right? There are infinite gods in this world. You know that? But you need to know, or we need to know, whom to worship, who is the actual God, right? That's why we are learning this. Now, between Teerthankar and Bhagwan, do we remember why Bhagwan and Teerthankar is different? What is the difference between the Teerthankar and the Bhagwan? Yes.
The Teerthankar, their mother, they get the dreams that and the Bhagwan does not get the dreams, and then the Bhagwan only sees the future after the future, past, present, and their Vita. No, their Sarvagya only after they take more. But the Tirthankars, their Sarvagya when they're born.
No, no, they are not Sarvagya when they're born. They both become Sarvagya when they become Arihant. Okay, they Bhagwan and Tirthankar, when they're born, they have three gyans: Avdi Gyan, Manah Paryay Gyan, Mati Gyan, Shrut Gyan, and Avdi Gyan. These three gyan, but they are not omniscient when they're born. But you were right about the Kalyanaks. So Tirthankars have Kalyanaks, means these 5 grand celebrations. But Bhagwan, they don't have 5 Kalyanaks. Okay, are we clear on that? Tirthankar will have 5 Kalyanaks, 5 grand celebrations, but Bhagwan does not have it. For example, Rishabdev Bhagwan was Tirthankar. So he had all these 5 Kalyanaks, but Rishabdev's son, Bahubali, he also became Bhagwan in the same life, but he did not have any 5 Kalyanaks. But does it mean that they did not have Sarvagyata or they were not Vitaragi? No, it does not mean that. It just means that Tirthankar has a duty to fulfill. Tirthankar has a job to do. Okay. Tirthankar, when they become Arihant, they have to roam around in Samosharan and they have to give out discourses, because they are because of them, this whole Upadesh, or this whole knowledge, passes down to the generation after generation. So when when they are born as a Tirthankar, they already know that this is their duty, that once they will have Sarvagyata, or once they will become Arihant, they will have to give out the discourses to the people. It happens very naturally, but that happens only for Tirthankar. Once some normal person becomes Arihant, they may or may not give the discourses, or they may or may not preach people, depending on how their situation is. But Tirthankar must do it. They do it. It's like by rule. It's by definition. That's why Teerthankar is much more worshipped, because of them we have this knowledge. So it's like from the first Teerthankar till the Mahavir Bhagwan, the 24th Teerthankar, this knowledge was passed one after the other Teerthankar. And all the Teerthankar happens like after certain duration. So before Mahavir Swami, Parshnath Bhagwan happened like 100 years or 150 years before him. I'm not quite sure on the duration. So before that 150 years, what people were following? The people were following what the Parshnath taught. And after that, when Mahavir Swami became Tirthankar or Mahavir Swami became Arihanta, he started preaching people on the same path, how to follow that. So that's why Tirthankar has a duty to do. But Bhagwan, they may or may not do the same thing. Okay? But do they have Samosharan? They don't have the grand Samosharan like Tirthankars do, but they have like smaller one where they have like a lotus thorn and throne, lotus throne, and then they will be sitting there, but they will not have that grand Samosharan for people to sit and listen to them. Those are some of the differences between Bhagwan and Tirthankar. Yes, Tuti, you have question?
Why there are no Teerthankar after Mahavir Bhagwan?
Because there are only 24 at a time. So according to our scriptures or our Shastra, there are 24 in the each so there are 6 kals, first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth. During this 6 kal, there are only 24 Tirthankar. Yeah. And then from 6 to 1, there are again going to be 24.
Yeah, but which kal are we in?
Fifth.
But then why are there no Tirthankars being born?
Because Tirthankar happens only during the 4th kal, during the 4th ara. And all 24 of them happened during that 4th kal. And the 5th kal is after that.
So next 4th kal, 24th Tirthankar will happen again?
Yes.
Okay, but will we be around during that time?
We might. Maybe not in this body, some other body.
What if you're in this body? Like, what if you did another life and came back to this body? Then we could see the Tirthankars, right?
And we might have seen them in our previous birth already. We just don't remember.
In our previous life? I know. We would have been in the wild with the animals or above in hell or heaven.
Could be anywhere. Yeah. Yeah. So some of the example of Bhagwan who are not Tirthankar, Ram Bhagwan, Bahubali, Bharat, Hanuman, these are all gods and not the ones that you see in other other some shows like Ramayana and all, but like actual God, how this God is, right? Like Tirthankar, all these are also similar gods, right? Like Ram, Bahubali, Bharat, Hanuman, all of that. Okay. So then who are Tirthankars? Who exactly are Tirthankars? Why do we worship them? So they re-establish the Jain Tirth. Sometimes it can happen that between one Tirthankar and the next Tirthankar, there is like no Jainism left because there is nobody to carry it forward. But when the next Tirthankar comes, sometimes they have to re-establish the Jainism because people have forgotten about that. So that's what their job is. Then those have auspicious events like Kalyanak that we talked about, that who have this grand celebrations of Kalyanak or auspicious events in their life during their birth, um, and Diksha Kalyanak, Gyan Kalyanak, and Moksha Kalyanak. Those who have Teerthankar Nam Karma. Now, how do they become Teerthankar, right? Why some people become Teerthankar and some don't? Why does that happen? Because they have that type of karma. They have earned that type of karma. It's called Nam, Teerthankar Nam Karma. Means Teerthankar named karma. They have that specific karma. Because it is said that you require certain qualities. You have to lead your life in a certain way. There are 16 different qualities that you need to have to earn that Tirthankar Nam Karma. Like you have to be, those are 16 types. This is not the time. I don't want to go into it. But if you have heard the word Solah Karan, meaning 16 reasons why they became Tirthankar. So we do this puja, Solah Karan puja in the Daslakshan. Okay, and then it has the line like Solah Karan Bhai Tirthankar Je Bhai, means by following these 16 things, whoever has become Tirthankar, that's how they become Tirthankar and gain this Tirthankar Nam Karma. And who else? Those who have Samocharan assembly. So whoever has this Samocharan, they are called Tirthankar. Okay. So these are some of the what is this? What is what? It is just something is coming up on the screen and it's not going down. Why happened that? Okay. So how many Tirthankar are there? This is easy. How many Tirthankars are there? 24. 24. Right? 24 Tirthankars are there. Do we know their names? All of us, do we know all of their names? How many of you know all 24 Tirthankar names? Ira knows. Okay, who else? Let me see. Abhiraj says yes. So pretty much know. And if we don't know, we should know. Okay? This is not something that we should not know. Right? So what are the 24 Tirthankar? This one. See in this slide, it shows all 24 Tirthankar with their symbols. First Rishabhnath ji ka bull. Second Ajit Nath ji ka elephant. Third Sambhavnath ji ka horse. Fourth Abhinandan ji ka monkey. It is on the screen. Somtinath ji ka conch bird. Sixth Karnu bird. Lotus. Seventh Subhash Nath ji ka swastik. Eighth Chanda Prabhu ji ka moon. Ninth Pushpajan ji ka crocodile. 10th Sheetalnath ji ka Shrivats. So what are these? What are these signs? These are the signs by which we recognize the God. Okay, in the very old idols, right now nowadays, like you have, if you go to temple, sometimes the God's name might be written in some or the other form in the very newer temples, but most of the time, even especially in the Pratimaji, which are really old, the idols that are really old, you will not find the names or anything. You identify which God's idol it is by looking at the sign that they have. Yeah. I just see the whole sign just now. Right? Have you seen God's name written? Look, this is Mahavir Swami. Have you seen written anywhere in the temple? We don't write that. It is, we recognize the God's idol or which God's idol it is by the sign that is there. Have you guys noticed that? So when you go around in our temple, in the Milpitas temple, The names are written there, right? Have you seen the names?
I only saw symbols.
There are names also. Some of them are smudged, like not, they are not readable, but the names are there.
No, like when we go around. Yeah, I see those.
There are names too. Have you guys noticed that?
The dots. I thought you were talking about the three gods that we.
Yeah, but when those three gods, so which gods' idols are there? Do you guys know?
Three gods?
Which Tirthankar? Does anyone know? Yes, Aro, do you know?
Mahavi, Chandra Prabhu,
Yes.
and
And which one is the third one? Anyone else? Do you know which gods' idols are there in Milpita's temple? The three main Pratimaji that are there.
Shantinath.
Shantinath. So in the middle, the Mool Nayak, the biggest idol is of Mahavir Swami.
No.
And then on the left, there is Chanda Prabhu Bhagwan because they have moon sign. And then on the right side, it's deer. Whose symbol is deer? Shantinath Bhagwan. Okay. So we should know when we go to temple, we should know who we are worshipping, which idol we are worshipping, which god is that. If you're not talking, please go on mute. There is a lot of feedback. Wait, let me see. Okay. Okay. So after this, what is this? So Tirthankars with more than one name. Do we know which Tirthankar had more than one name?
Rishabdev, Pushpadant, Mahavir.
So Rishabdev's another name is what? Adinath. Pushpadant Bhagwan's another name is Suvidinath. And Mahavir Swami had
Veer Ativir
their
Sanmati
names.
Vardhaman.
Veer, Ativir, Sannamati and Vardhaman. Someday we'll read the Mahavir Swami life story. In that we'll get to know how he got all these four names. Okay, not today. Yes, Aro, you have question?
I'm just asking if India has any names for the gods.
What do you mean India has any names?
In India, do they have God's name below, like our Milspatis library?
I don't know. Have you been to India? Did you see?
What does it mean by that? I have, but I didn't.
You didn't notice?
Didn't notice anything.
So next time when you go, you should notice. Okay, Aro's question is that how it is in India? Do they write God's name under the idol or they don't have it? Or if there is like a book of God, a book about all the gods, do they write like God names in the book? God names are there on the book. But that's not what his question is. He is asking that in the temple, do they write God's name under God's idol in India also? That's what he's asking. He's not asking about it. Well, they might do that. Some temple might have it, some temple may not have it. But we should be able to recognize God's idol by their sign. That's why we should know all 24 Tirthankar names and their signs. And their symbols, yes. Okay. Okay, so 3 more minutes to go and a couple of more slides. I think we'll go through them in the next class. There are some similarity and differences between the Bhagwan and God. Okay, one question. Similarities between Bhagwan and Teerthankar. So they both are Vitaragi and Sarvagya. But what is the difference? Can you tell me the difference?
All Teerthankar are Bhagwan, not all Bhagwan are Teerthankar.
That, yes, very good. But I'm asking like how they both are Vitaragi and Sarvagya,
Oh, so they're both gods.
right? But Tirthankar is Hitopadeshi. Bhagwan do not give out discourses. May or may not. What?
I'm going to have. Yeah, this is what I have to do.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay, so any questions?
You need to have 2 more minutes. Okay.
No more questions?
Yeah, so the class is in.
Everybody is on mute. I can't hear if you're talking.
Yeah.
Yes, you have a question, then you can unmute and ask the question.
They can't hear you.
They are writing something, I think. Okay. Let's see. Okay, if no one has questions, then this is it. And oh, wait. I sent one bhajan recording that we went through in during our puja. So ask your parents to have you listen to it so that we can sing it together during next puja. Okay, and all of you guys have spring break next week.
I don't think for us it's next week.
It's not next week for you, Vinny?
I don't know. Yeah. I don't know when it's spring break. I'll ask my teacher. But
I thought most people had spring break from April 1st through April 5th.
I have spring break.
Next week?
Mine's starting tomorrow.
Yours is starting tomorrow?
Ours is starting day after tomorrow. Mine is starting on Saturday.
Okay, so we will not have class next week, okay? I'll put the message in the WhatsApp group as well, but we will meet now not on 3rd April, but April 10th, okay?
That's Wednesday.
And we'll continue our class from April 10th. Till then, Jai Jinendra, everyone.
Jai
Bye.
Jinendra. Jai Jinendra. Jai Jinendra.